Good morning and welcome everyone. So we are here with our second lecture for the subject basic element of mechanical engineering, and right now we are doing the material science and manufacturing domain. Okay, so what we did in our first lecture, let's revise it. So in our first lecture we did the introductory part, okay, and we also talk about the various properties of material and various mechanical properties of materials, and we also talk about the periodic table, right? So please, if you have not attend the first lecture, please go through it, that is very important. And let's start our second lecture, that is the classification of materials, right? So by classification of materials, we divide our different kind of materials into some specific groups, right? Because suppose we have 1000 number of different materials, right? And if we want to talk about each and every one, okay, so it will be a very difficult and a very laborious work. Okay, so to overcome this, what we did, we classified this 1000 number of different materials into some groups. Okay, means there can be group number A, group B, C and D, right? And suppose that out of this 1000, 250 belongs to this group number A. Okay, that can be based on the properties, right? Suppose 200 is based belong to group number B, right? And maybe 300 belong to group number C, okay, and remaining means 250 belong to group number D, right? So if we divide the your different materials into these kind of groups, so now we can talk about this 4 group easily, right? मतलब अब इन 4 ग्रुप के बारे में बात करना आसान हुआ या नहीं हुआ? अभी इससे पहले क्या था कि भाई 1000 अलग अलग तरह के मटेरियल्स हैं, और अगर हमें मटेरियल साइंस पढ़नी है तो भाई हमें हर एक के बारे में एक बार तो चर्चा करनी पड़ेगी एटलीस्ट, ठीक है? तो मतलब एक बार 1000 डिफरेंट नंबर ऑफ मटेरियल्स हैं एंड वी वांट टू टॉक अबाउट ईच एंड एवरी वन, ठीक है? तो सोच लीजिए कि फिर आपका ये सिलेबस कब तक पूरा होगा, राइट? सो वी डिड द क्लासिफिकेशन हमने क्या किया, वी डिवाइड देम इनटू सम स्पेसिफिक ग्रुप्स बेस्ड ऑन देयर प्रॉपर्टीज. तो व्हाट आर दोज ग्रुप्स? यू शुड नो इट, ठीक है? एक ग्रुप होता है आपका मेटल, राइट? देन देयर इज अनदर ग्रुप विच इज नोन एज सिरेमिक्स, देयर इज अनदर ग्रुप विच इज नोन एज पॉलीमर्स. ओके, अभी मैं यहाँ पे एक लाइन खींच रहा हूँ, दिस वन. सो ये जो है आपका मेटल, सिरामिक्स और पॉलीमर्स. ओके, आप ये कह सकते हो कि दीज आर द प्राइमरी ग्रुप्स, राइट? दीज आर द प्राइमरी ग्रुप्स. देन यू हैव कंपोजिट्स एंड you have also advanced materials. So what are these composite and advanced materials? Okay, means briefly we are going to discuss it right now. Although we will be discussing about composite and in advanced materials in a broad way in the coming lectures. Okay, so composite is a mixture of, means you can say two materials from these 3 groups. Okay, means there can be one metal with one ceramic. Okay, if you mix them, okay, so it will be making a composite. There can be one metal with one polymer also, and there can be one ceramic with one polymer. Okay, so in this way we can prepare our composite, right? So basically you can say that this group is based on the previous 3. Okay, but property wise it is very different. Broadly we will talk about it in the coming lecture. Then there is advanced materials. So basically advanced material may be metal, may be ceramic and may be polymer also, or maybe composite also. Okay, but it should have some advanced feature, or you can say some special principle of working, okay, or you can say some unique quality, right? So then only we will say it that it is a advanced material. Okay, so broadly we will talk about this advanced material in the coming lectures. Okay, so in this particular lecture number 2 we will only discuss about metal and ceramics. Then next lecture we will talk about polymer and composite, and then the remaining advanced material will be taken after that. Okay, So we are starting with the metal. What is metal? In Hindi, metal is called as dhatu. Okay, you can see in pictures there are different kind of metals we have. Okay, so how we can define metal? What will be a metal? Okay, so any material given to you will be a metal if it have one or more metallic element. Okay, and what is metallic element? If you remember your periodic table, so we have metallic elements like Fe, copper, gold, silver, platinum, okay, chromium, tungsten. These are all the metallic elements. We have many more. Okay, if we have in any given material, suppose this is a material given to you. Okay, this is a rectangular piece given to you, and you want to test whether it is a metal or not. Okay, so how you can do that? So you can do that if it contain one or more metallic element. Okay, so suppose it contain Fe, right? It contain Fe, and along with that maybe in some proportion it also contain chromium. Okay, so ये चीज़ तो हमारा क्लियर हो गया कि एक या एक से अधिक उसमें मेटेलिक एलिमेंट होना चाहिए. Okay, but along with that it will also contains non-metallic elements. Okay, but that non-metallic element should be relatively in small amount. Okay, so what is non-metallic element? Non-metallic element can be carbon, can be oxygen, can be nitrogen. Okay, like this. Can be silicon also. So these are the non-metallic element. So along with means one or more metallic element, it also contain non-metallic element, but that should be in small amount. Okay, so amount can be like this. You have steel. Okay, you have different types of steel, and in steel you have Fe and you have carbon. Okay, or you can means suppose you have in Fe like 98.5%. Okay, and remaining 1.5% amount is carbon. Okay, so you can say that carbon is relatively a small amount than Fe. Okay, but it is there. One non-metallic element is also there. Okay, Fe is a metallic element. One non-metallic element is also there, that is carbon. Okay, so this means this given material which has 98.5% of iron and 1.5% of carbon, it will be called as a metal or dhatu. Clear? Let's talk about it more. Now we need to classify the metals also, because we have number of metals. Okay, so these number of metals can be categorized in two different category. One is known as ferrous and another is known as non-ferrous, and it is very simple. If it contain mainly iron or Fe, then it will be a ferrous one. If it contain no iron, okay, then it will be a non-ferrous one. Non-ferrous can be copper, can be aluminium, or can be platinum and gold and silver, right? Then how will you judge? Okay, how will you test whether a given metal piece, okay, will be a ferrous or non-ferrous? Okay, so you can do it like this. Suppose you have this water bottle. Okay, this water bottle is a metal, but whether it is a ferrous or non-ferrous, how will you test it? So you can test it like this. You bring a magnet. Okay, you take a magnet and bring the magnet near to this metal piece. Okay, if it is this metal piece is attracted towards this magnet, then it will be ferrous. If it is not attracted towards this magnet, then it will be non-ferrous. So it is very simple, you can do it. Okay, so let's proceed this. Now let's talk about the mechanical characteristics of metals. Okay, because in the first lecture we talk about this thing, that in the properties of material we mainly talk about the mechanical properties only. Okay, for this subject. So mechanical characteristics wise, your metals are stiff and strong, and yet they are ductile. What is the meaning of ductile? So ductile, or you can say ductility, it is a mechanical property, and if a material is ductile or if it has a high ductility, then this given metal can be deformed easily. Okay, this given metal can be deformed easily, or a large amount of deformation can be given to this given metal, so it will be a ductile metal. Okay, so most of the metals are ductile, they have high ductility. Okay, so they can be given easily transformed into any shape and size. Okay, they are stiff, they are strong, right, and they have resistance to fracture also. Okay, if it means if you give some impact loading to any given metal, so it will sustain that given loading. Okay, it will not break. Okay, so these are some of the mechanical properties, and due to these mechanical properties, we use our metals into different structural application. Okay, like you make a number of bridges, okay, this kind of structures, and this Eiffel Tower. Okay, so we use metals because metal can sustain any impact loading, any kind of environment. Okay, then there are some other properties also metal shows. Okay, and these properties of the metals mainly governed by the number of free electron present. Okay, because every metallic element we have some number of free electrons which are not bound with any nucleus. Okay, so these number of free electrons are attributing to the various properties of these metals contain, right? So what are those properties? One is they are very good conductor to electricity and heat because of these free electrons. They are not transparent to visible light. They have lustrous appearance. Okay, and due to this you have gold, you have silver, okay, you have platinum. Okay, they have this lustrous appearance. If you polish the surface, that will be very shiny surface. Okay, and some magnets also have the magnetic property. Okay, what are those metals? Like Fe, cobalt, and nickel. Okay, and all of these properties of metals are attributable by the number of free electrons present, right? What is next? These are some of the you can say generally used equipments which are generally made of metals. So you have this fork, you have this knife, you have this scissor used in your house. These are the coins. Okay, this is a small gear. Okay, and this is a wedding ring. Okay, and this is a nut and bolt assembly. Okay, so all of these things are made of different metals. Okay, maybe this is made of some kind of steel. Okay, maybe this is made of some kind of mild steel. Okay, this may be your gold or platinum, right? This can be bronze or brass. Okay, so you have different metals. So these are the products made of different metals. Okay, so this is all about the metals, their properties and their definition. Okay, their groups, ferrous and non-ferrous. And now let's come to the ceramic. So what is ceramic? So ceramic is basically a compound of metallic and non-metallic element. Okay, so the question arises that metals is also metallic and non-metallic element. Okay, and ceramic is also metallic and non-metallic element. So what is the difference, right? What is the difference between this metal and ceramic? So difference is this, that it will be a compound. Okay, metal is not a compound of metallic and non-metallic element, and if it is a compound, so your non-metallic element will be in a major amount. Okay, and these are mostly carbide, nitride, and oxides. Okay, like you have Al2O3. Okay, this is known as alumina, right? You have SiO2. This is known as silica. Okay, silica, or you can say sand. Okay, this is a ceramic. Okay, you also have SiC. This is silicon carbide, right? So like this you have other ceramics also, but traditional ceramics are, you have your clay minerals, okay, like porcelain, and as well as your cement and glass. ठीक है, मतलब glass means your जो भी आपका ये होता है glass products, okay, और cement, you know it very well. So these are also traditional ceramics. Okay, so let's talk about the characteristics or properties of ceramics. So your ceramics are relatively stiff and strong. Okay, relatively means with related to your metals. Okay, means if we will talk about any property of any material, okay, so we have metal, ceramics and polymers, so we will always try to compare that. Okay, in metal we say that metal are stiff and strong, and in ceramic we are saying that ceramics are relatively stiff and strong, means they are relatively stiff and strong as compared to metal, right? But they are very hard. Okay, this is the property they have. They are very hard. They are not hard, they are very hard, and due to that they have this property of brittleness. Okay, so brittleness is also called lack of ductility. So ductility we define, ductility is means you can say they are easily converted to any shape and size. Okay, because large amount of deformation can be given to them. But brittleness is the lack of ductility. It means they cannot be transformed to any shape and size easily, right? So this brittleness, the property of brittleness, is a harmful property, or you can say this is a drawback with the ceramic materials. So due to that they will be highly susceptible to the fracture. Okay, you can take any piece of glass, if you throw it or you drop it from a height, so what will happen? It will break into number of pieces. So this is due to that, because ceramics have this brittleness property, and due to that brittleness they are highly susceptible to fracture, right? Let's talk about some other properties also. So one of the important property the ceramic have is they are insulative to heat and electricity. Okay, means if you if any chamber have a high temperature, and so if you surround that chamber by a ceramic material, so heat will be contained into that chamber. So that's why you have furnace. Okay, furnace you have. So furnace also have the lining, or you can say outer body made of some ceramic materials. Okay, because your furnace have thousands of degree of temperature inside, so this heat will be contained in this chamber by these you have ceramic materials at the outer side. Okay, and they are also insulative to electricity also. So in electricity transmission you can see that in the pole you have some sort of ceramic, okay, where the wire is tied to the pole, okay, so that the electricity is not transmitted to the pole. Okay, they also have this resistance to high temperature. Okay, so that is basically same, they are insulative to heat, and they also resistant to high temperature, and also resistance to some harsh environment. Okay, harsh environment can be anything, like you have some chemically harsh environment, so they have also resistant to that, right? Optically they can be transparent. Okay, like you have glass, they can be translucent, and they can also be opaque, like you have your porcelain materials, porcelain product. Okay, some of the ceramics exhibit the magnetic property, like you have Fe3O4. Okay, so this is the ceramic material and it show the magnetic property. Okay, so let's proceed. Now we also have some advanced ceramic materials. So what is the advantage with this advanced ceramic materials? That they have this improved resistance to fracture. Okay, because the traditional ceramic hai hamare, they are not resistant to fracture. If you give any impact loading to that ceramic material, it will easily break. Okay, so we improve this drawback of ceramic materials, or you can say traditional ceramic materials, and we develop some new ceramic materials which have this improved resistance to fracture. Okay, and by this having in newer ceramic materials that you have improved resistance to fracture, so now we can use this kind of material into some cookware, in some cutlery, and even in some automobile engine parts. Okay, because now they are means resistance to fracture. Okay, because that was the major drawback with the ceramic materials, that they are not resistant to fracture. Okay, and in machinery, okay, in any machinery you have some kind of, you can say, motion, okay, in some kind of vibration, okay. So in that vibration your traditional ceramic will not sustain, but the newly developed ceramics, they can sustain there, okay. Like this, in automobile engine parts you have these valves, okay. So earlier these valves are made of some kind of metals, but now the material used here for this valves, it can be ceramic materials, okay. It can be steel and super alloy or titanium alloy also, but it can also be some ceramic materials, okay. And in your engine blocks, so this is made of some kind of aluminum alloy or gray cast iron or ferrous alloy, okay. It can also be some white iron, gray iron and ductile iron. So we will talk about each this kind of irons or this kind of steel in our iron carbon diagram. That will be a major topic, okay. But the point here to just to means show you that ceramics are also used in these kind of application nowadays, okay, because of their improved resistance to fracture, right. And in figure you can see some kind of general equipments you use, like this is a cup, teacup, okay, this is a brick, this is a glass, okay, this is a tile, okay. Very general equipments, these all are made of some kind of ceramic materials, okay. So this is all about this lecture number 2, right. I hope you will be like this and you enjoy all this lecture, okay. So in third lecture, the coming lecture, we will continue this topic of classification of materials, and then we will talk about the polymer group, and then we will talk about the composite materials, right. So this will be the content of your lecture number 3, right. Thank you everyone.